Behold, I am with you, and I will keep you. I will not leave you. I said I will keep you wherever you go. And I just want you to know, if I gotta demonstrate, just so you know, believe me, don't hesitate. I hold you close, I water you grow. I am your Lord. Oh, I am your Lord. I am your Lord. Oh, I am your Lord. Oh, I am your Lord. I am your Lord. I am your Lord. Oh, I am your Lord. I hold you close, I water you grow. I am your Lord. Behold, I am with you. I will not leave you wherever you go. I will not leave you. You can trust that I'll keep you wherever you go. Oh, 'cause I am your Lord. I am your Lord. I am your Lord. I am your Lord. Behold, I am with you. I will keep you wherever you go. This is what the Lord is saying to me, and is singing to me, and is singing to you, whoever it means anything to. Because so often I look at a situation and start to assume how things will go because of the way things look right now. And even when God makes us a promise, or God speaks things that are to come, or shows us things, I know I do, but I know sometimes we can all like assume or try to plan or assess what God is or isn't doing from where we're standing, considering I don't think we consider, but consider all that we cannot see. You know, God created everything. And, you know, in Corinthians, it talks about how we only know in part. And when he comes, when Jesus Christ comes, what we know will pass away. So the knowledge that we have here in this realm is not sovereign. It's not infinite. It's finite. And we don't know that much. We are the created, and there's so much about the creator and creation that we simply cannot fathom in this realm, in this state, you know. And I think about Moses, when God first told Moses to go free the people. And in the first stages of that process, things got worse before they got better. Moses came to Pharaoh and was like, free, let the people go, you know, let them, or something like that. I think it has something to do with going to go pray, or let the people go pray and offer sacrifices to their Lord. And then Pharaoh was like, if y'all got time to make sacrifices, then y'all ain't got enough work. And so he basically made their labor harder for them. And so then they were starting to feel like, well, you know, I could imagine things are getting harder since you came up in here trying to free us. Can you just go away? You know, sometimes when we're uncomfortable, or sometimes when things get harder before they get better, we can sometimes want to run back to what's comfortable, or what we're used to, or what we feel like is safe, you know. And even Moses came to God and was like, you sent me to these people, and since you sent me to these people, Pharaoh has increased their suffering, and you still haven't delivered them yet. And reading that, it was so crazy, because I was like, oh my gosh, that sounds like me, you know. God, this is what you said, and this is what you ain't done yet, you know. But it's so amazing. It's like we're supposed to be leaning and trusting and following God. Even Jesus, the perfect man, he did nothing on his own, but only what the Father taught him. He followed the Holy Spirit. He didn't start coming up with his own ideas and plans of how to make this thing work. He simply followed his Father. And then, like, every person in the Bible that God chose to do something, they were at their best when they were simply just listening to God and taking his instruction. And we step into a dangerous place when we start to try to decide and assess what God is or isn't doing, or how well God is carrying out his will, his own will, or if the way that God is moving in our life doesn't make sense to us. We have to realize and remember that his ways are not our ways. His thoughts are not our thoughts. God is literally breaking me out of the mold of holding what makes sense to me, you know, in front of him, like trying to understand him based off of what makes sense to me. You can't do that, because there's so much about God we simply don't understand. He's so beyond us, you know what I'm saying? And it's like when we try to assess what God is doing, or what he's not doing, or what he's not doing well, we step into a dangerous place, because we were never meant to. We don't even have the jurisdiction or capacity to assess what God is or isn't doing right, you know. We're in the best place when we're just leaning in and in awe of him, paying attention to him, because there's so much we can learn. Just staying in that place of humility, realizing that this thing is so much bigger than we ever see at any time. So, I don't even remember why I was saying that. Oh, yeah. Because with me, sometimes I'll look at a situation and assess, you know, what God is or isn't doing, or, you know, why is this like this, God? Why is, you know, that kind of stuff. And God said to me last night, he was like, you know, to address how much of my life I've walked out trying to see to believe. And he's like, well, right now, see that I am with you. See that I have not left you. see that I have been with you everywhere that you have ever been, and see that that will continue forever. So while you're trying to see everything else and assess what I am or aren't, what I don't know. I think I messed that up. Anyways, while you're trying to see what I'm doing right or not doing right, or what you don't understand about what I'm doing, instead see that I got you. And it's like, that's basically what God said to me. And that's basically what, this, what I just released was just those words that God spake and saying into me, of that piece of just know that God is with you and that he will never leave you. So if there's anything you're walking through right now that you just simply don't understand, or maybe you don't understand God, we're not going to understand God all the way, but it is such a privilege to be able to get to know him and have a relationship with him and love him. And I've also been learning that, to love a person is not to completely understand them all the time. Because when you think about it, the only one who probably completely understands you is God, because he created you. Now, of course, there are humans in your life that understand you more than others, but don't be discouraged when even those that are closest to you don't completely understand you. Because we as humans, you know what I'm saying? It's not a requirement to completely understand a person to love them, Just like loving God. I love God, and I don't completely understand him, and it's okay. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's okay to not understand all the time. And then I think what's beautiful about being misunderstood at times is it grows you in a way that being understood all the time wouldn't, if that makes any sense. And then it also gives you an opportunity to become even closer with the one who does completely understand you, and give the humans around you grace when they don't completely understand you, because understanding you is not a requirement to love you, and understanding you all the time is not a requirement in the Bible. We're not always going to understand each other, but we can love each other, and we can lean into the one who does completely understand us. And then we don't have to hold a grudge towards people, or be offended when people don't understand you, because people are not always going to understand you. So yeah.